Hello and welcome back to the Life Recovery Devotional. Today is step 4, day 4, and we're going to be talking about family influence. Our Bible reading for today is Nehemiah 30, chapter 9, 34 through 38. Step 4 says that we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Our family of origin has had an influence on who we are today. Some of us want to pretend that our families were or are nearly perfect. Others of us may tend to avoid responsibility for our actions by blaming our families. Whatever the case, when we think about our own lives, we also need to deal with our families and the effects they've had on who we are today. We are told that the returned Jewish exiles confessed their own sins and the sins of their ancestors. Nehemiah 9:2. They blamed their ancestors for their captivity and the difficult situation they were facing. They said they refused to turn from their wickedness. So now today we are slaves in the land of plenty you gave our ancestors for their enjoyment. We serve them, conquering kings, at their pleasure, and we are in great misery. It's all right to admit the truth about what brought us into bondage. This might very well involve the wrongs committed by our parents and family. It's all right to express our anger and regret over what's been done to us. We have a right to hold others accountable and grieve over the negative effects they've had on our lives. That is part of the real picture. It's not, however, all right to use this as an excuse for our wrong choices or for staying in bondage. They may be partly responsible for bringing us to this place. But we are responsible for moving on to a better place for ourselves and our children. Past generations helped create our present circumstances, but our confessions can free us for a better future. You know, there were a few things on my inventory list that I thought there's no way I have any part in it. When I had a friend that befriended me at the age of 11, 12 years old, who was several years older than me, and he would let me come over and play video games with him and do other things with him. And he seemed to really like me and everything else. And then one day he decides to lead me out into the woods behind the place where we had our houses and take advantage of me. I could have used that, and I did use that for a number of years as an excuse for my behaviors, my lashing out at others, my hurting of other kids through bullying and other things, my sharp tongue, my sharp wit, my aggressive attitude, my drinking later on in life when I got to the age where I finally decided, screw it. If I'm going to be in pain, I'm at least going to numb the pain a bit. I did use that as an excuse for a number of years, but eventually I came to the realization that no, I don't have a part in what he chose to do to me, but I do have a part in how I chose to react. First of all, I did not come forward and bring the person to justice so that he could possibly get the help that he needed to get free from whatever was bothering him. But I also chose instead to lash out instead of seeking help. I could have sought help and I could have gotten better, but instead I allowed it to make me bitter. And there's a big difference in those two. You can think, oh, well, bitterness isn't a sin. Bitterness isn't bad. Yeah, it is actually. Bitterness is one of the worst sins that we can commit, because if we're bitter rather than better, then that just makes it easier to blame everything in our lives on somebody else. We never take responsibility for what we do, but rather we just sweep it under the rug and decide, well, it's not my problem, it's somebody else's problem. They're the ones that caused me to do this. You're the reason why I'm this way, blah blah blah. But when we decide to confess that yes, I had a problem, I had a part in my reaction to this horrible, horrible thing that happened to me, but my reaction beyond that did not help the situation. That's when I found healing. That's when I found restoration. That's when I found growth in spirit beyond my wildest dreams, because I was able to say, Lord, I don't know what you want from me, but I know that this isn't the proper behavior of a child of one of your children. Please help me to do better. And he did. He did. And so it's a big part that we realize that while it doesn't cancel out some of the things that happen to us, it will help us move past those things when we decide to confess that our reactions to our problems weren't the best. I hope you guys enjoyed this or learned something from this video today. And if you did, please make sure to come back. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I make content on this kind of stuff every day, and I try my best to provide meaningful and proper content for you guys. Thank you for being here and for supporting the channel through a donation if you have, or through subscribing, or through liking, or through sharing these videos with people that you know need help. God bless you and have a wonderful day. I'll see you again soon. Take care.